For the semifinal round, what is it you feel like it's going to take from your team to get this way?
I mean, we gotta play our best soccer, no doubt about that. We've been peaking, this second half, and when it comes down to the end, you got to be playing at a high level. You got to be playing for 90. We can't take a half off. We can't take a stretch of 10 minutes off, and because these games are close. One mistake, one lack of judgment, or one down moment could cost you a game. So we just got to be focused for the whole time, and work for each other, and hopefully good things will happen.
Do you feel like your team's playing at a high level right now?
Oh yeah, we are. I think we're so much more well balanced now than we were. Meaning, it's happening on all three levels. Our defense has really picked it up. Our midfield is being strong both offensively and defensively, and our forwards are getting goals. So our goalkeeping's been outstanding. So I don't know that we necessarily have a weakness anymore. Early in the year, we had a couple holes, but I think we've come a long way since then.
Obviously, coach, top two seeds going at it Friday. You beat Central Missouri in the regular season, and then you're going on the road. Is there anything else to taking this just another game and not trying to make it too big there?
Well, we play Northwest first on Friday, so we're not up against UCM yet. We can't think about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, all four teams, any one of the four could win it. I'll be honest with you. It's on the given day, at the given moment, who's going to shine and who's going to come through. You could play this Final Four 3 times and have 3 different winners. I'll be honest with you, that could happen. Hopefully it's our day and or our weekend, and we'll go from there. But we've had a lot of success against Northwest because we've played really, really good against them, and nobody wants to beat us more than them. I can tell you that. So we'll have to give even more if we want to beat them again, because they possess a really tough challenge for us.
And then, if you win and you play again on Sunday, you got 2 games in 3 days. Less you just have the one game. But I guess does the regular season kind of prepare you for that because you're usually playing 2 games in 1 week?
Yeah, we're used to that. It was more strange to have just one game than it is two. So we do play early on Friday. It's surprisingly early at 12 noon. That gives us a little more recovery time than playing a night game and going over. So that's good. I think if you make it to the championship, you're going to be ready regardless, because it's hard to get to the championship. So I am not worried about that. Our girls will. We've responded, well to a quick turnaround before, so we'll do it again.
And then just having like a veteran team kind of help you this time of year, do you feel?
Yeah, for sure. These a core of our players have been in this game before. We've been in the semis, maybe the last 3 or 4 years at least. So it's not a moment that's too big for us. We've been there before. We know what it takes to win. We do have a new team this year, but I think these girls have done a good job of sharing their experiences with them, and they know that we've set the bar pretty high. So I think not only half our team has a ring on their finger, or 2/3 of our team, and I think the other third wants to see what that's like. So hopefully we can get one for them as well.
Thank you. Vince.
Hey, Coach. So I know you talked about, you said you guys had some polls, earlier in the year. You guys were ranked, regionally, I think it was, or maybe the top 25. And you guys had not to start the season you wanted, but now you guys have come around. And so, what does that say about this team, right? You had a lot of all MIAA selections, this year. What does it say about this team to kind of claw back and be in the spot you guys are at right now?
Well, nothing's going to get us down, for one, and that goes by season or by game. So we've come back from 1 goal down, from 2 goals down, and we'll continue to fight. We were 0-3 at one point, and I told them in the locker room that we were probably the best 0-3 team in the nation, because we played a difficult schedule. We're trying to figure stuff out. Our back line was completely new. We were trying some different formations, and we lost some close games in that stretch where we struggled. But sometimes it takes time to learn how to win, and we eventually got there. And in our last, I believe, 13 games or so, we only lost one time. And so that's really good to go through MIAA play and conference play and only lose once. But, at the beginning of the year, teams might have said we were overranked or overrated because that went on the previous year. not so much this year's team. Those rankings don't really mean anything, but, through the course of the season, we proved, hey, we are a special group right now, and not that we should have been overranked at the beginning, but I believe we've crossed a lot of bridges, in that path, and so we're peaking at the right time for sure. But we never gave up.
And lastly for me, Coach, I know you're excited for your team to, kind of get over that hump. Obviously, as you said, you can't look too far ahead. You still got to win this game first to get to the championship. You want to get that ring. How special will it be, to hopefully, win this game and get to that next stage? But, what do you kind of tell your team right now to focus on this game specifically? Is there a message or something you're telling your team, like, hey, this is what we have to do specifically to, win this game?
I mean, you don't want to put too much pressure on them, thinking that, in some aspects it's got to be just another game and what we've been doing, and but the stakes are obviously a lot higher. We won the MIAA championship tournament last year, so these girls know what it feels like, and I think the hardest team to beat is the defending champion, because they have a lot of people who experience that, and sometimes when you experience it, it almost means more to do it again. It's like that. It's harder to beat. It's hard to beat defending champs. To knock them out, and we have that title right now. So I just want to play to a level that says, hey, we are here for a reason. We were here last year for a reason, and we're going to be a tough out for anybody.
That was perfectly said. Appreciate it, Coach, so much.
Going into this now, you feel like you're in a pretty good spot for the NCAA tournament. Does that kind of relax some of the pressure maybe, so you're there? You're not worried about hosting or not hosting or any of that stuff. You're going to be in a place where you can go play.
I mean, yeah, it's nice because we're not fighting for our lives. We're not we when it's your last game. But I kind of like the pressure of it's your last game, so give it all, right? So I think that's got to be the mindset, But it's nice to still be rewarded with something if we don't, win the tournament. Like I said, soccer is funny. We can outshoot Northwest by 6 and lose by 1. It just you don't know what could happen. We could play the tournament 4 times and have 4 different winners. So it's nice because we are in for another game after that, and going to regionals is quite an honor. So that is somewhat of a relief, especially how we started, because those non-conference games are so important when it comes to these things. So we never really thought we had a chance at 1 and 4. So the turnaround and just having that opportunity is awesome. But, it's honestly harder to win an MIAA championship than make regionals. So in a sense, that's a bigger prize. And because 4 teams go to regionals, maybe out of our conference, but only 1 is going to be a champion. So hopefully we can do both.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
MIAA semifinals. You've been there. Mm-hmm. You've had the success there. How much confidence does that give you guys going into this?
A lot. I mean, there are a lot of key players that have been there with, some of the midfielders, defenders. They know the feeling, the pressure of that game, and honestly, it just makes us want to work even harder to succeed in that game and then potentially play in the championship for, another win in the championship.
I know this is a different season, so the scenario, it's completely different from last year. What about this year's team that gives you a sense that this is a team that can accomplish the same thing?
I mean, Coach said it really well. We had kind of an iffy start, and I think this season is just a testimony of like how hardworking this team really is, individually and as a team. Just because we faced some early challenges doesn't mean that we give up. We pride ourselves in having the hardest workers on the team and in the conference, and I think the other girls who haven't been in the championship game or don't have a ring, they see, the legacy that we're trying to pass on in this program, and they are motivated to do it as well.
Aislinn, obviously, you won this last year. You had the home game just last week. You're going on the road again for the last 2 games. Does that kind of add anything special, or is it just kind of because you play well at home, or you just kind of know just they treat it as another game?
Honestly, in past seasons, we've done really well at home. This season, we had a couple of games that weren't the best at home. So I think it doesn't matter where we play. I think we take one game at a time and focus on the opponent that we're playing that game, and we work hard regardless. And especially now that the pressure is on a little bit more and the importance of the games are just a little bit higher, I think we all are just going to work that much harder to try and succeed.
And you mentioned obviously the rough start, they turned it on lovely. Do you feel, was there like a turning point at any specific point in time during the season, or was it just kind of things kind of fell into place?
I think it all kind of fell into place, but we all took a step back and realized that we're capable of so much more and that we really do have an incredibly talented group of girls. And if we kind of worked together and just got over, the negativity, our frustrations, and just worked as a team and worked for one another, we knew we were going to be a successful team. And I think, we're showing that now.
And then what do you kind of, you've obviously seen all these teams in the regular season, what stands out about Northwest that maybe could pose a challenge on Friday?
They're a very talented team. I mean, just like us, they're not going to back down. So it's going to be difficult to play them, especially since we've played them. I think this is a fifth time we've played them in the past 2 years. And so each game is slightly different. Each game you have to adapt to exactly what's going on in that game. So we just have to play, our best ball because I know that they're going to come out fiery and wanting to beat us. So.
Vince.
How important is it to kind of, I guess, keep your emotions in check, right? You're one win away from, the championship. Emotions are going to be high, right? Season's on the line. How important is that to kind of keep your emotions in check while also playing your best brand of soccer?
It's super important, especially with how sometimes these games go, because they are so important and because they are such at a high level of intensity. It's super important to kind of keep each other calm, because there have been calls and things that you never know what happens in these games, and everybody on our team plays a super big role. And so if one person, says something or does something and gets a card, it changes our game, and it changes, how our team is going to work as a unit. And so I think it's super important for all of us to just keep each other in check and just relax and play just another game of soccer.
And you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier where, you guys kind of had that 0-3 start. Obviously, not where you guys wanted to be worse.
Yeah.
What like, and John mentioned it, that kind of that turning point. Did you know that was coming, and you knew that this team was going to be in a similar spot you were last year?
I sure hope so. Early on, we all kind of took a step back just and realized that we were capable of so much more. And I had faith in our team because, at the beginning of our season in preseason, I saw what we are capable of and how talented the individuals on my team are. And I knew that if we could just gel together and, fix our chemistry, we were going to be a really successful team. So at the beginning of the year, I wished that we were going to be in this position, but, it's kind of surreal that we are in this position and that we do have another opportunity to potentially win another championship.
And lastly for me, when you have all these MIAA selections, honorable mentions, first teams, second teams, third teams, you being one of those selections, does that speak for the program that you have and why you guys continue to have, this good winning program and continue to have the success you guys have?
Absolutely. I mean, all of our girls are such hard workers, and we're all honored to get these awards, and it just shows, that individually we are talented, but as a group we're even stronger.
That was perfectly said. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, Hannah, how much are you looking forward to this semifinal and hopefully championship match of the MIAA tournament?
Well, it's always really exciting when we go out and play a game and just to be in the same position that we were last year. It's going to be so much fun going out there and playing with the girls and having that pressure, because I think it encourages us to push a little harder, and just knowing what the outcome could be and the potential we have to win again is very exciting.
So on the field, what's it going to take for you guys to win this thing?
Well, just kind of putting everything together that we've been working on this whole season. We have to play 100% of the time and go out, communicate, and just get the job done.
You said you play 100% 100% of the time, so do you kind of view this as anything bigger than it is being postseason, or do you try to treat it as another game?
Well, I think it's really hard to ignore the fact what the stakes are, but we do kind of have to keep our emotions in check and play it like it is a game, and just keep things running as we would if it was any a game. But I think the emotions are going to be a little bit more high, and the intensity hopefully will be up because of the position that we're in.
And yourself being a senior is about a bunch of upperclassmen on
I think so. You know, we have a lot of upperclassmen who are super talented, and they do a great job of encouraging the other girls, and the younger players on the team are super talented. But I think we do a good job of recognizing that when we're on the field, your grade doesn't matter. You're a player, and, you know, you can have a freshman yelling at a senior to bust their butt back on defense, but when we're on the field, we do a really good job of balancing everything out.
And just one more for me. Do you feel you're playing your best soccer of the season now, and how important is it to be kind of peaking at this time of the year?
Yeah, I think we've definitely brought it together towards the end of the season, and we're exactly where we need to be going into postseason, and I just hope that we stay healthy as we go.
Vince.
What is it about this team, Hannah, that, you know, from the beginning of the season, you know, again, I think we've all been saying that wasn't the start you wanted, but now you guys are obviously in this position you are. What is it about this team that you just really saw that spark and you're like, I knew this turnaround was coming?
Yeah, so I have to be honest, from the beginning of the season, I did not think we were going to be where we are right now. But what I did know and trust is that these girls were going to work as hard as they can to get where we need to be. And I think that our chemistry just really grew. And just knowing that these girls are hard workers and we're gonna work together to get to the top.
You know, when you did say you love that pressure, because, you know, again, it's win or go home now, right? You know, you love that pressure. Does that push more out of you guys to really be like, hey, we got to play a complete game to get to this championship and, of course, continue our season?
You know, I think it does. It's a different kind of pressure when you know you have to win a game, but when you want to win a game, you can go out there and have fun and just play as hard as you can and then go out with no regrets.
And lastly, for me, you know, what is it that maybe that Northwest should look out for you guys, you know, coming into this game on Friday?
You know, we have not lost Northwest since I've been here, knock on wood, but you know, I know we want to stay on top and we want to keep possession of the game, so they have to watch out for the fact that we're not going to back down even in postseason, and we're just going to keep hammering it down their throats.